Welcome to our brand new study on the book of Revelation here on the Bible Bulldog. We're delighted to have you. I'm very excited. Like most preachers out there, once we get caught up in Revelation, we just don't stop studying Revelation. I've gone through Revelation a number of times. I have literally gone forward and backwards through the book to see if I would notice anything different when I started at chapter 22 and went in reverse. I've looked at a number of books on this. What I have found, and I believe you will find, is that everybody seems to come to Revelation with preconceived notions of what it says because they've already been taught it from this direction or another. But what I believe you will find is this is a brand new, fresh look of why God gave us the book of Revelation. Before we even get into a single verse, this was my rationale for studying the book of Revelation. I believed that I, like many others, was taught Revelation. I was taught to fear Revelation. It was too complicated. There was too much symbolism. There was too many different things that we didn't understand. Then when I did start studying it, even though I was still a little paranoid about it, what I found is scholars everywhere disagreed. Nobody had a common belief on it. Everybody had different theories on pre-1,000-year reign, post-1,000-year reign, whether we're in the middle of the 1,000-year reign. So many different views on the symbolism there that it became overwhelming to study. The average Christian, most of them, do not want to study the book of Revelation, which is really sad. So what I did is I cleaned my plate. What I mean by this is before I came back to Revelation on my own, I decided I was going to try and forget everything anybody had ever taught me. My dad was very passionate about Revelation. I tried to forget what he had taught me. Tried to forget what I was taught in classes for my schooling. I tried to forget all of the books that I had read. And I came to Revelation to study with one thought in mind. If God provided us with scriptures to encourage those people that desired to know him, it did not make sense to me why he would take the very last book of that Bible and make it terrifying to the reader. So many hellfire brimstone stories, so many hellfire brimstone sermons that have been thrown out of a pulpit, scaring to death the listener. The listeners being those that desire to know God. It didn't make sense to me. So I cleaned my plate. I decided to come at it fresh with only one question, as I said, one single solitary question. What if God meant for Revelation to be a book of encouragement rather than a book of discouragement? That was it. What if it was meant to be the final book to a fantastic book, guiding his people closer to him? What if it was truly meant to be a book of encouragement? And let me tell you, when I started with just that one question, the book came alive in a way that it never had before. I mean, as a man that has studied front and back 10 times at least, I went through the book of Revelation in a full, thorough study, bringing in Greek, all history, all this stuff. For the first time, it just made sense. And it didn't just make sense. It was encouraging. It was uplifting. It was powerful. So I want to take you through the book of Revelation that I found. A book of encouragement directed solely and exclusively for those people that desire to know God, to draw closer to God, and most importantly, desire to spend eternity with God in heaven. For you, it's a beautiful Bible study. So we're going to delve into the book of Revelation. We're going to get into some fascinating stories. We're going to see some incredible symbolism. We're going to study some beauty in regards to a timeline that shows the growth of the church, the growth of a nation that supported the church, and even the demise of that nation as it turned its back on God. But the church remained. We're going to look at at some very powerful history that spans all the way back to the time of Christ and goes all the way up to the day that Christ will return. We're going to answer some questions, I think, in a very vivid, beautiful way. We're going to show some structure to that timeline that is Revelation. But we're also going to accept the fact that there are some answers in Revelation that we just cannot answer. It's okay. It is okay. Everybody hear me. It is okay for us to admit, I don't know. There's no way to know. I can speculate. I can have some ideas. I can have a couple theories. But there is definitely, without a doubt, some stuff in Revelation that we do not know the answer to yet. So I'm going to guide you with that. I'm going to show you some of these things. I'm going to show you some amazing things. And I am confident, truly confident, that if you stick with me, you're going to be encouraged by what you see. You're going to be amazed by what you hear. But I also promise you this, you're just going to get Bible guiding us. However, to understand the book of Revelation, notice we haven't even got into a single verse yet. I just want some clarity as you tackle this to see what's coming. To understand Revelation, it's a little bit different than some of the other books we have. Most of the other books of the Old Testament, or New Testament, and Old Testament for that matter, are history lessons. They're Bible history lessons. In other words, history lessons about the people that you find throughout Scripture. Revelation is different. It's a book of prophecy. It's a book of things to come. It is something that John will start off at the very beginning saying these things that are happening or will happen. He's telling you they haven't happened yet. So when you look at this, there's a little range. Some believe John could have been written from 93 to 97 AD, somewhere in the middle. Some will tell you they think it was written earlier. I do not believe that. I believe it took place definitely after the fall of Jerusalem, though some will tell you they think it took place earlier. We'll address some of that as we go through this study. But John writing this book of prophecy in 93 to 97 AD and saying these things will come to pass tells us that the story that we're going to read in Revelation is future for John and our history as the church that was established in the book of Acts. It's going to see some demise of part of the church. It's going to see some growth of part of the church. It's going to see some serious obstacles facing the church. It's going to show the future of the church right before Jesus comes. There's going to be some fascinating lessons that guide us through a history lesson. So for that, part of our study is going to be solid Bible, but part of our study is going to have to include the history of this world as it is unfolded throughout time. So you're going to get a history lesson that is outside of Scripture generally for the last 2,000 years. And you're also going to get a history lesson, or in this case, a prophecy lesson of what we look for so we can actually analyze this timeline. Now, it might sound confusing right now, but I promise you I will bring clarity as we go along. So anticipate two kinds of timelines. One, a biblical timeline of things that pertain to the church and to Jesus Christ and the devil and his angels that followed him away from heaven, but it's also going to include the history of man as we've seen it. It's going to talk about Catholicism. It's going to talk about Islam. It's going to talk about America, because all of them are found in the book of Revelation. So I hope that you're ready for a fun ride. We're going to kick this off. This is just my introduction to this. Our next video will kick off chapter 1. It will tell you more about the history of Revelation. We'll get into John, why John was chosen as the man to write this letter. There's some very important information there. But today I just want to welcome you to this Bible study into the book of Revelation. I promise you it's going to be an exciting study. We're going to talk about angels. We're going to talk about the number 7, a personal favorite of mine. I'll get to that later. We're going to talk about God and fallen demons and all that good stuff. So buckle up, enjoy the ride here on the Bible Bulldog. I look forward to seeing you in our first lesson on the book of Revelation. Thanks for joining me.